As we celebrate Black History Month, it is essential to recognize the rich culinary traditions that are shaped and influenced our community. Joining us all the way from Beachville, Nova Scotia, that's right, my friend, Chef Leon Hamilton, a Red Seal certified chef in the culinary arts. You heard me, in the culinary arts. And our discussion today with Chef Leon will be that he's going to shed some light on the intersections of good food, healthy food, health itself, community happiness. Ooh, yes, that's soul food, all centered around the theme of good food. A warm welcome to Chef Leon Hamilton.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for being on the show.
That was a nice intro. I'm on the fence of how you said all the way from Beachville, though. It's not that far away, right?
I love your story. And I want to share with the viewers, is like, tell us a little bit more about your culinary journey, who you are. Of course, we know where you're from. I just said it. Mm-hmm. But, you can expand upon that a little bit more.
Well, my interest in cooking developed late. Like, I know people might expect, I've always loved to cook or whatever. It wasn't something that I was interested in until probably my late teens.
Oh, really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's not late.
Well,
I guess for in the trades.
Exactly, right? By the time it was like my last 2 years of high school, it was just like, all right, decisions got to be made, right? I wasn't interested in going to university to, sit behind a desk for 2 to 4 years or something like that, right? I knew it wasn't for me. Got to be doing something with my hands, right? I like being physical and stuff like that, and being in the kitchen, being around food. I was a chubby kid at the time, so it was a win-win for me, right? As well as I didn't want to graduate with a degree after spending so much time on it and then not being able to find work within my field.
Yeah.
I knew I'd always be able to find a job cooking no matter where I went. If I decided to travel, where I ended up, I could always find a job in some little kitchen to work in and stuff like that. And with that mentality, it's led me to sitting in this chair beside you.
And you've been doing some great stuff with your career. So I get into that really, really well. So after university, well, you didn't do the university. You went then to where? What?
I did a 1-year cooking program at NSCC.
Okay, yes.
Right? It wasn't at the beautiful Akerley campus that they have right now. It was at the IT campus, one of the last years before they closed that down. I moved all of the cooking programs to the Akerley campus. So I did a 1-year program there. Went against my mother's judgment of doing the 2-year program so I could learn the ins and outs of the business and stuff like that. I was like, no, I'll learn that as I go. And then a decade later, I had to sit across the table from my mother and tell her, you're probably right. Maybe I should have gotten my Red Seal and gone and done the 2-year program. One of those rare times where opportunity comes walking into your door. At the place that I was working, me and 4 other cooks sat in on a meeting with the apprenticeship officer, offering this, and this. They were giving incentives for any Red Seal journeyman to gain their Red Seal, right, if they wanted to do it. So for me, it was easy, right? And then each level that you get, they'd give you cash back or whatever. So for me, it was too easy. The company I was working for as well paid for my book, so all I had to do was just show up, do my best, get my certification at the end of it.
You're right, that was an opportunity.
So it was kind of bittersweet that I didn't take my mother's advice, but it also worked out that I didn't take her advice because I ended up going to school for free, and it wasn't on her dime or out of their pocket too, right? So it's just one of those things.
I want to say timing is sometimes of the essence too, right? Mm-hmm. Because a lot of things did align for you thereafter. So I think it might have just played itself really well.
There's no lie that there's some blessings floating around out there for me that I'm not privy to, but welcome to it as well, right? Saying yes will just open me up to more of those opportunities. And there's no secret that luck has played a big part in how I've ended up where I am today.
Well, thanks for sharing that story. Now tell me, did you learn to cook through your mom or watching her? Who was your influence?
My influences would have been my grandmother.
Yes.
Both of my grandmothers, I should say. Ruby Jarvis, rest in peace. Love you, Nan. And Greta Hamilton as well. Love you, Nan. In case you end up seeing this, I don't know. We'll see. And a lot of aunts and uncles and stuff like that, right? In my family, it wasn't just like the moms or the aunts that were thrown down in the kitchen, right? Whether it be on the barbecue or sometimes some of the boiled dinners and stuff like that as well, right? Some of my uncles and would be in there putting work and throwing their elbows around in the kitchen, getting dirty too, doing up the dishes and stuff like that. And it had an effect on me and stuff like that, right? Oh yeah, it gets. You better watch yourself. I'm little kid just trying to get in the kitchen to get a little biscuit or something like that until supper's ready.
Oh
It's
my
like
gosh.
walking into my field sometimes in a
Those
crowded
are nice
kitchen.
memories
Right?
to have, though.
Absolutely.
They are
Precious.
nice memories to have. So let's get back to culinary, okay? Because I want to jump into how it relates to you or what your feeling is around Black History Month and how we cook and the recipes that we put on our tables or that we take from, you know, your grandmother's or my grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
Like how important is that for you in terms of relating it to Black History Month?
It's important to me to keep that legacy alive, to be able to have the reference of like, this is what they were cooking with, like what our ancestors were cooking
Right.
with, like, you know, at one point in
And the
time.
why.
And
Because
thank
food
you.
was cooked with a purpose.
It was cooked with a purpose and also cooked out of necessity, right?
That's right.
And working with what you got.
And working off the land.
Working off the land,
Yeah.
and then whatever is provided for that, right? So a lot of the recipes that were like put together were kind of just like compiled of that, right? Whether it be, you know, what if the harvest was good or bad, or if it
That's
was
right.
end up
Or how-
a
right.
bunch of scrap food
Mhm.
that was able to come and stuff like that,
True,
right?
True.
So I'd like to build upon that, right? As far as like a lot of the traditional recipes or whatever, like whether it be collard greens or like fried chickens and like the whole like cliche like menu items and stuff like
The
that.
pig's feet and
Right. It's not that like I'm against them, but I would just like to see
elevation.
elevated just a little bit better.
I agree.
A little bit better, a little bit of improvement or whatever. Like, yep, okay, that's great. And like, it's not all traditions were meant to be maintained. I think I think I can say that carried on, yes,
or improved upon,
and then
tweaked.
improved upon and
Yeah.
tweaked a little bit
Yeah.
or whatever, right? That's definitely what I want to talk about or encourage.
Right.
Whenever given
Elevation.
the opportunity as well, right? Because some of those recipes weren't exactly good for us, right? They weren't exactly like, you know,
No,
built
but
upon
that's
health,
a good point. That's a good
right?
point. Absolutely.
And that's the angle. That's the that would really be the whole reason that like I would just say I don't like give into like the whole cliches and stuff like that, because some of that stuff doesn't lead us down the path of health. It leads us down the path of having to go see a doctor or
Right.
having to, you know,
Bad health.
dig yourself out
Yeah.
of like, you know, something physical that
or
like you gotta do some
obesity or
work.
things like that. Yeah.
Absolutely, right?
Yeah. I was thinking of which I do love, butternut squash soup. So a lot of those root vegetables and the turnips and, you know, like making those into like winter soups.
Absolutely.
Right? And there's plenty of those in a garden. Back when I was younger, my grandfather was a farmer.
Okay.
And he also was a construction worker, but he loved farming. He loved being outside. He liked, you know, being outdoors. And I think just being outside, running around as a kid and seeing him work, now I understand the value of that. But just being outside and knowing that there's food in the ground. Like you just go outside and get grapes off the vine, apple trees. He had orchards. He had like pumpkins and like
wild blueberries.
Didn't know then, but appreciate it now.
Absolutely.
Right? And that's homegrown food.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
And you're putting it on your table for your family to eat. Yeah. Today, we know the state that our food's in. Like, what do you have to say to that?
It stresses me out at times, if I'm being honest, right?
True.
But like, you know, going to the grocery store, you can just walk into the door, instant stress or whatever. They're like worrying about how much money I'm gonna spend or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then beyond that, to just like pick up a box of something and like read the list of ingredients on it, right? And if you can't pronounce like half the ingredients that's on it, like that's a problem.
Yes, it is. It is.
That's a problem that I feel like needs to be talked about and should be addressed more by those that can control it or do something about it, right? For whatever reason, why that's not being done, I don't know. But like, you know, if you can watch different like social media like accounts or people like that, and you can see what the food is like in the UK, and they have stuff that like comes into the Canada and the US that they straight up don't even stock on their shelves. Right? Because they already know that it's poison. So the fact that it's on our shelves here and it's like pushed and like geared towards kids, like so, and people in general,
so you got to be really
so
food conscious and health conscious of.
Definitely. These days at the age that I'm at, health is wealth. Health is important.
So let me ask you about this in terms of spicy foods, right? Because that's a big thing in like other cultures, like in Jamaican cultures and Indian cultures, and they have health components to that, right?
100%.
What's your feeling about those?
Love it. It's something that where my boys are at an age now, they can handle it, or at least I can look at them and tell them you're gonna have to handle it, right? Because sickness is can run rampant.
Yeah.
Right? Like if it ain't something running through my house, it's another, right? If it's another type of virus or cold or something like that. And yeah, cooking with going heavy on the fruits and vegetables and when I can, and then the spices is something since over the past year that I've started to kick up that stuff. Yeah, definitely see like an improvement. Yes, they might still get sick, but the recovery is much faster than what it used to be like pre-COVID, because there would be like, you know, a whole like week of school that one of the boys might miss or whatever. Nowadays, right, if I'm, you know, staying on top of like what I'm cooking them or what their diet's going to be and stuff like that, and how much outdoors that they get as well, stay on top of all of that, and the recovery can be minimized to about 2 days or something like that, 2 to 3 days.
Wow. I personally,
spicy foods, love them for sure.
Yeah, personally myself, I'm not a spicy fan. I'll eat it. I'm building a tolerance for it. Like some things I just and it just sits with me. But I'm building it by adding it more slightly.
Absolutely.
And I think I kind of became a fan of it when we were in Jamaica, because that's what they eat. So when in Jamaica, do Jamaica. But it's flavorful.
Yeah.
Right? And you can tell that there's that slow love cook for, you know, the process of cooking.
There you go.
And I enjoy that. And I think that's what I like to make time for, is good food. Good food.
Yep.
And I have to give a shout out to my mom. She's a wonderful cook. And sometimes, you know, like she's like, oh, you girls have to learn how to cook. It's a house full of girls. Yeah. And I'm like, but you do it so well. Right? So, but it's one of her giftings, is to cook for people. And also that we give her accolades to say that it was good. That was a good meal, right?
Yeah.
Wow, she'll give you the world, and she knows that she's a good cook. But so you know, we need to, you know, enjoy people's food, because when it's cooked and it's done right, that makes you happy. That makes you smile. Right?
100%. Yeah.
So
cooking and providing happiness is definitely happiness.
So what did you mean by? Because you and I had a conversation prior to this, and you was like, you know, cooking is happiness.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Well, everybody has that comfort food dish, right? Where, like, you know, you had a crap day at work. It's nice or, you know, has seen a nice day in a couple days or whatever else like that, right? Nova Scotia, it's raining a lot. Might be snowing for a couple days or something like that too. You want that meal sometimes that's going to make you feel good inside when it's not so good outside. Right. So that's what I mean for like cooking for happiness, where like you can eat that dish and all that warmness hits you on the inside, and everything else just kind of dissipates and melts away, and
my
it's
mouth
just
is
like,
watering.
you know what, that day wasn't so bad after all, right? And regardless of what it is, everybody has that thing, that comfort dish that's different for them and that hits them differently, right? But
okay, so I want to do a quick little game with you, and I'm calling it the hot plate.
Okay.
Hot plate questions. Okay. So I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and we're not going to put you on a timer, but if we were on a timer, I want to ask questions and see what comes to you right away.
Rapid fire.
Okay.
I got you.
Okay. Question number 1.
Yep.
What ingredients do you most like to cook with?
For myself in my household, bell peppers, carrots, broccoli, spinach, and chicken.
Okay.
Those are crab pleasers.
What ingredients can you not cook without?
Smoked paprika.
Ooh. Yeah, now I come across smoked paprika. There's a lot of different. Did you know that?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Question number 2. What is your favorite dish and why?
My fate for myself.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm a sucker for fresh cut, deep fried potatoes.
Really?
Absolutely. That's my comfort food. That's
Seasoned?
my guilty pleasure, right? Oh yeah. Come heavy with the salt and pepper. Maybe a little vinegar, but
garlic?
No, I like it. I'm plain Jane with it, right? I may or may not even eat ketchup with it if the salt and pepper is on it, right?
You need to have ketchup sauce.
I know it, but sometimes
for me, I love ketchup.
Sometimes if it's the right potato, if it's the right kind of russet,
true.
Then I
can
might
agree
not
with that.
want it. I might not need it, but for me, that's it. Right, fish and chips, or even just the chips.
Okay.
And I'm good.
Okay. Yeah. Question number 3: Where would you like to travel for a culinary experience?
Jamaica.
Yeah. Jamaica, man, absolutely. Let me tell you.
I don't think that Jamaica would disappoint.
No,
Right.
they don't.
Yeah.
They start in the early afternoon, and by the time supper time comes, that is okay. That was your experience. I'm going to leave that alone. Where would you like to work for a culinary experience? To learn about food and culture.
Japan.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so why?
Yeah. To learn more about sushi.
Okay.
For sure as well, right?
Jarvis loves,
Jay loves
Yeah,
sushi,
yeah.
so he'd love that as
I
well.
learned
right?
that about him.
For sure. And then the culture as well is very alluring to me. I watch anime, right? Yeah,
Okay.
right. So the culture as well would be very very
Yes,
alluring to
the
me, and then
culture.
being able to learn more from a professional sushi chef would be very interesting to me
Okay.
as well.
So this is an ingredient we learned from one of the dishes that we did through Fruits of Our Labor, which we will talk about quickly. What's your take on okra?
It's weird.
No. It's different.
It's different, but I mean
it's not. It's not something we're used to in our culture.
absolutely.
But in Nigerian cultures, and I'm sure in other African cultures, because I have some African friends that I have learned, and I am learning some of their dishes.
Yep.
That's one of their staples.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's used in
And-
gumbo as well, eh?
Yes.
So like,
And peanut butter soup, peanut butter stew.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was in
It was
that-
in there,
working
but
on
it
that
didn't
recipe
know.
as well, right?
But
It's the
it was
thickening agent.
delicious.
That soup is gluten free because of the okra that was
That's
in
right,
it.
that's
Once
right,
it starts to
right.
cook and
So
the
it's different.
gels
It
come
has
out of
it has a different texture that I'm not used to.
Yep.
But
Excuse me.
yeah, no. So I'm learning different ingredients that we are incorporating into some of our dishes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be honest with every question that you ask. Yeah. If you
Okay.
say it's weird, I'm gonna say
What is
it's
a
weird.
quick and easy meal in your household?
Taco Tuesday?
Taco Tuesday.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Tuesday for sure.
Okay,
It's
no
a
problem.
It's a crowd pleaser. You can whip that up within 20 minutes to a half hour.
Okay. Do you prefer, as in your role as chef, a buffet style of serving or a catering?
It depends on how many people.
Okay, I was
are
gonna say
serving,
100.
right? If I'm doing 100, I would prefer to do it buffet style.
Okay.
But that also depends on the people that I'm surrounded
right.
with as well, right? Buffet style would be good because I'd have more control over the serving style of the food and like, how it looks. But if I got like a good crew of like, say 4 cooks,
Yes.
then we could do a nice plated dinner for 100 people and do like, a table of 8 at a time or something like that, right?
Okay.
If we got a good, well-oiled machine or like system down where one person's handling the protein, next person's handling the starch, next person's handling the veg, the 4th person pouring the sauce on and doing the quality control on the plates. Ideally, that would be the setup.
Okay.
But you got to have great communication
You do.
and people that have been in that atmosphere before in order to really get that clicking. Okay,
And
that's
focus
8
on
done.
their
Boom,
stations.
set it up again.
yeah.
That's 8 done. It's challenging and it's fun to be a part of and super fun
But
to
I
like
think
watch
you've
from the
had
outside as well, right?
a good team experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll get
We're
into
getting
that.
there, getting more comfortable and stuff like that, right? So it's not out of the cards, but at this time, if
So
given
far,
the
so good?
opportunity,
Yeah.
100 for a buffet, and we'll be all right back
Okay.
there.
Okay, a few more questions. What has this trade in culinary taught you?
Patience.
Paige.
Yeah. Patience for sure. Just
Yes.
not as far as like everybody's like learning speed
Yes.
and right and stress level.
Yes. No,
as well,
I
as
hear
well,
you.
right? 'Cause
Like, but are you talking about in a classroom setting as an instructor, or what you've learned?
what I've learned, like in
Okay.
anywhere can be a classroom, right?
Yes.
That's kind of something
Good
that
point. Yeah.
I've landed on like more recently is that like any moments that like I could find myself in where I can just be like, hey, hang on a second, let me turn this into a teacher moment and show you how you can make this easier for yourself, right?
That's what makes you great.
So I would say definitely patience, and that's through like any aspect of my life
Okay.
as well, right?
Good answer. Good answer. What is your dream culinary job or goal?
Working from home, like doing the
That's an honest answer.
doing the virtual
Yes.
cooking classes there with the ABSW where I can just like right, strap on the chef coat, sign in and do it virtually. That was cool, super convenient. So either do something like that,
Yeah.
or if I can just do like a small intimate class of like teaching, say, like 3 to 4 people, just like basic cooking knowledge to get them more comfortable in the kitchen. For people that just like, I really
want to
hone these skills. It's always been something I struggled with or whatever. Can you help me with this?
Guy, or want to impress my girl,
whatever the case may be or whatever. Yeah, okay, can you just show me how to make this one dish, how to do that like perfectly, where I got date night coming up or whatever.
Valentine's Day is coming up,
right? If I could find a way to like hone that as a business, that'd be
nice.
Be cool. That'd be super fun. Meet lots of people and stuff as well.
Another good answer.
Yeah.
Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Okay. What's your favorite dessert?
Death by chocolate.
Death by chocolate. Okay, and last question. Your choice of foods. If you could go into a pantry and a refrigerator, what would be your 5 choice foods?
For me to eat or for me to cook for somebody else with?
Cook.
Okay.
Okay.
5. Holy smokes.
Okay. 3.
No, this is doable.
That's doable.
Yeah, garlic, onions.
Yes.
Chicken. Carrots.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. And spinach.
Not collard greens?
Nope, not collard greens. No, I would choose spinach because it's more versatile. I can use that for a salad.
That's right.
I can saute and like cook with that as well and stuff like that. Yeah. Right, greens kind of paint you into a corner and stuff like that. Spinach, I find to be way more versatile. That's one of the vegetables that like I can get my kids to eat without even knowing that they're eating it. Throw that in a meat sauce and a spaghetti sauce, something like that. Taco Tuesday, it gets mixed in with that meat. They just don't know it. Right, and they have no idea it's in there, and they gobble it up every time.
That's and I had an interview with another. She's a Nigerian mom, and she's always putting foods in her.
Absolutely, it's
that they don't know, but they're eating, and that makes her happy.
I'm getting to a point now where I'm not cutting my vegetables that I mix in with it as small as I used to, so that they can see it, so especially my youngest, so that he can see it and know it's in there and just get over it, please.
Get over it.
Just get over it and eat it.
And you kind of have to prep them, because when they go out and they could be anywhere and this is all they have to eat, right? You kind of have to either decide, I'm okay to eat this because I've had this food experience before, or I'm just going to go hungry until I get something.
There you go.
So these have been great. Thank you for being a champ and answering my fast, hot plate questions.
That's good.
So my last question before I let you go, and thank you for being a great guest, by the way.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's a pleasure. I love having conversations around community. But in regards to Black History Month, if we could end with that, and maybe I asked this question again prior to this, but I want to ask it again. Why is our food and our culture so important, and how do we keep celebrating our Black history through food?
That's a heavy question to go with, Nicole. Food, I would definitely find to be important just for health alone, right? Right. What you eat is what fuels you, and is going to get you through the day to have these conversations and to prosper and accomplish all the things that you want to do, right? If you don't fuel yourself with a good nutritious meal or a healthy meal and stuff like that, right? And you're gonna start your day off with crap, then that's kind of where the day is going to potentially lead to as well, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I would say for sure is just, start with, wellness, make yourself happy, make yourself something great and delicious and nutritious to eat, right? Make yourself happy and then go into the world and do the same. So, so to do that from like, an African Nova Scotia standpoint, can prove to be difficult, but not impossible. As far as keeping it going for the culture, definitely important, because starting to think that other cultures are starting to appreciate it just a little bit more.
They want to know how to
than we are, right?
Yeah.
That can be like a whole nother discussion as well. But there's like a lot of other like ethnicities or whatever that that want to embody that our culture and what we are already born and like blessed with and stuff like that. So retaining that like for ourselves, I would definitely say is something that'd be very important to hang on to.
I like that.
That makes
That's
sense.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Leon. I really appreciate your answers. I appreciate your honesty, and I appreciate your skills and your talents. And I think I always say that to you every chance
Absolutely.
I get.
Yep,
and
Much appreciate
because
it.
I see the value in you. I see your Black I Am history.
Absolutely.
Show off the shirt.
Yeah,
and who did the shirt?
Right.
Thank you.
My wife, Megan Hamilton. Hi, thank you so much. Love you.
Yeah.
Made the shirt as well as different variations of this shirt. It says I am Black History. And it's no lie, I'm a descendant of the Black Loyalists of Nova Scotia as well. So the shirt applies. And you can make various designs similar to this or one just like it.
We'll be calling, no worries.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
thank you again. Chef Leon Hamilton, all the way from Beachville, Nova Scotia, my friend, my fellow partner in culinary arts, and we appreciate him very much. So until the next time, we will be back on the show doing some recipes reflecting African Heritage Month for African Nova Scotia inspired recipes.
Absolutely.
Thank
Can't
you.
wait. Thank you so much for the opportunity. This is great.